right, good morning, everyone. It seems that I am live, but the picture seems really, really small. Let's see if I can adjust what's going on. Boy, good morning and happy Tuesday, everyone. Good morning, happy Tuesday to you. I am Lady Victoria with Victoria School of Etiquette, where we offer a solution to your etiquette dilemmas. Listen, I'm broadcasting to you live from the great windy city of Chicago. Chi-Town is what we like to call it. We are the best in the Midwest, and we thank you so much for being a part of our platform on this morning. So I am asking everyone to please like and share across your social media platforms. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel by the same name, please go on over and do that so you have access to all of our video material right at your fingertips when it is easier for you if you missed the live broadcast. Those of you that are that will catch the replay, thank you, and please again like and share. I don't know if my pictures to me seems really tiny. I don't know. I hope it's larger on your end. But anyway, I'm going to go on and get started on this morning. It's Tuesday, everyone. So that means in Victoriaville that it is Tidbit Tuesday. So today I want to share just some tidbit of information about you, about our dining styles, how we dine here in the United States and how others dine outside of the United States across the nation. So typically in our country, we dial American style, which is also referred to as sometimes crisscross dining. When you're sitting down to have a meal, oftentimes this happens more so at lunch and dinner. It could happen at breakfast as well. It just depends on what it is that you are consuming. So you know that when we are sitting down to dine, we have our implements that we use, our utensils. Um, we typically have our spoon, we have our fork, and then we have our knife. On your table is going to be set up like this, with your fork on your left side and your knife and your spoon on the right side. The blade of the knife is always facing inward to your plate when you are dining. But in America, when we dine and we're using typically the knife and the fork, spoon is sitting there and may be used later. But when we dine, we use what we call the crisscross style of dining, and this is why. Because when we begin to cut our food, we take our knife and we turn it tines down, and you can see how my forefinger is resting right here against the handle that just before it leads up to the tines. And it's the same thing with my knife. When I'm holding the knife, my forefinger rests on the back side of the knife, right? Right at the top of the handle here. And when we begin to dine, we take our knife, we turn it downward, we take our fork, we turn the tines down, we pierce our meat, and then we cut across in a sawing kind of motion, going back and forth. We're not digging in like this, but you're gently, if you need to apply a little bit of pressure, then you do so. So you take this is the meat here, imagine that, and as we are cutting across, you saw a little bit back and forth, and then when we get ready to eat it, we take our knife, we turn it blade in facing us, we rest it on our plate. You can't see my picture down here. We rest it on our plate, blade facing in, and then we take our fork with the meat or the vegetable, or whatever it is, on the tines. We take it, we switch hands, we turn it up, the tines up, and then we eat, we consume our food. That is American dining. That is the crisscross style. In Europe, in European countries, they also have their knife and their fork. They hold them in the same way, and they pierce and they cut in the same way. But then, instead of resting their knife, they hold onto the knife in their hand. They take the fork with the tines down still, and then they eat. And so that is continental style of dining. Oftentimes in European countries, when they talk, they do not release their utensils. They hold their utensils in their hand while they're talking. And I'm just holding them up to my face so that you can see, but that's not how they would do it in their country. Of course, they hold them down with the forearms resting against their table, and they continue to talk and eat with the tines turned down and the blade still turned down, or it may actually be turned up towards them, but they aren't using it all over the place with their dining partners, with others that are sitting at the table with them. But that is called European style of dining. Now the table will oftentimes be set up in the same way, with the knife on the right side, spoon facing the knife, fork on the left side still. This is a dinner fork because of the long tines. The shorter fork would be the salad fork. The table may be set up the same, depending upon what it is they are having. If they are having fish, or if they are having appetizers, which they may often have, and we do too in fine dining. But if their table is set up with more utensils, it is because they have more courses that they are going to consume. But just for the purposes of eating, down, down, pierce, cut, continental style, they are going to keep their utensils in their hand while they eat, tines up. American style, we're going to rest our knife on our plate, blade facing inwards. We're going to switch hands. Sorry, I just lost one of my utensils. We're going to switch hands. Good morning and thank you for joining. And then we're going to consume our food this way. So that is the difference between the two dining styles. Now, which one is correct? They are both correct. Which one do you use? You probably would use the one that you were taught at home when you were young. If your parents are American and they've lived in the United States, or that is the style that they were taught, that is more than likely the style that you will use. Of course, in Europe, they will use the style that their country uses because that's what they are accustomed to. Which one is correct? They are both correct. The only difference is that whichever style you're using, that's the style you use consistently throughout your meal. So if you start out using continental style, and then midway through your meal, you switch over and start using American style, continental, right? You're going to be hold both utensils in your hand while you're eating. In American style, you rest your utensils afterward, but they don't do that there. So they are both correct. But if you use both methods while you're dining, it can be confusing to other people, and you just want to be consistent in using one method. So whichever one you start out with, that is the one that you consistently use throughout your meal. There's nothing wrong with either one. We just don't crisscross and use the same method at the same meal time. So that's that's there. Your napkin is used in the same way that it is always used, whether it is American style or continental style. And you know what? Let me grab my napkin. I left it over there instead. I'll be right back. Okay. Here I am. Thank you. So here I have my dinner napkin, right? And you can see how it's been folded. So at the table, it was folded in half, then folded in half again, and then one more time. And so this is how it rests on the table when you are dining. But the first thing you do when you sit down is you take your napkin. Good morning and thank you for joining. You unfold it. You refold it about a third of the way down. About this much, you would fold it down, and then you rest it in your lap. Now, this part here that's folded down, this is the part that wants to face upward, facing you while you are sitting and you are dining. It goes across your lap, and when you need to use it, you gently take up one corner of the napkin, the part that's been folded down, this portion here, you're going to put two fingers under and grab it here and just dab at your mouth while you are dining. You're not going to take the whole napkin and do one of these things across your mouth. Your napkin is not a bib, So you're not going to have it tucked into your shirt or tucked under your tie, gentlemen, or even tucked in between the buttons. You can see you're not going to have it tucked in between the buttons of your shirt. Your napkin always rests in your lap. The exception to this is if you are dining at a barbecue house and then they will give you like a bib that you can tie, that you will wear around your neck. It's like an adult bib, like babies wear, but it's adult size, and that is to catch all of the barbecue and all of the juices if you're dining perhaps sometimes at a seafood restaurant, and it might depend on what you are being served. Like if you're having crab legs, and you need to crack them open and all of that, so then you might be served a napkin that you would wear around your neck. But other than that, the napkin always goes in your lap. It's always folded a bit of a third down, and when you need to wipe your mouth, you take two fingers, grab the napkin under the corner that's folded down, and dab, and you put it back in your lap. Now, if your napkin is really soiled, when you put it back in your lap, just fold it over one more time. That's why we don't fold the napkin completely in half, about a third of the way down. And then you can fold it down again to hide the soil. And when you need to dab again, you take the fresh part, same procedure, two fingers under, dab, dab. When you have completed your meal and you are done, so this is a little signal that you want to send to your waitstaff that you are completely finished. So you're going to take your napkin. This part is soiled, and remember the part underneath it is also soiled. I always go from the right side because I'm right-handed. If you are left-handed, you can go from the left side, but the procedure is still the same. Two fingers under, blah, blah. And so when you're done dining, you want to take your napkin, you fold away the soiled portion of the napkin. That can be folding it again this way. You can fold it all the way down. You can take it and you fold it in half and you leave it on the left side of your place setting. And that is a signal to the waiter that you are done with your meal. You have completed it. When they see that signal, then they know that they can come and remove your place setting, even if there's food still on your plate. You have already let them know that you've done by the signal that you sent them with your napkin. Another point about napkins, and this is American as well, American and Continental as well. When you get up to leave the table, let's say that you need to go to the restroom, or let's say that you've received an important phone call that you need to take. We don't take our napkins and fold them and put them in our seat. You don't take your napkin and fold it and put it on your seat. You can also leave it on the left side, but it's not folded away. It's not folded away with the soiled portions soiled away. You don't put it on the seat because when you come back, that's where your derriere is going to rest. So you don't want to put your napkin there. You can also put it on the back of your chair. And that is a signal to the waiter that you're not done, but that you will return. So those are just 3 little tips that I wanted to share with you this morning. Another thing that I might add, in most restaurants nowadays, even though we're experiencing, limited in-house dining and all of that, but when you go to your establishment, you should still receive the same stellar service that they were providing before the pandemic hit. And so when you want to contact your waiter, if something is amiss or you just want to share something with them or you want to request something, please do not call out across the room. Please do not do the finger snap. Those things are rude and impolite, and it is considered a disservice to your wait staff. It's considered a sign of respect to your wait staff when you are trying to get their attention. So when you need to get their attention, they're going to be somewhere in the vicinity. Your wait staff will be somewhere in the vicinity. They will likely have a runner. That's a person that will go, the person that comes and brings you water, the person that might check in with you to just make sure that everything is okay. So when you catch their eye, that's the best way to do it. If they're so busy and they haven't gotten back to you, if perhaps there's another wait staff from another area that's passing through your area, then you can ask them if they can please let your waiter know that you need attention at your table, and they will be courteous enough to do that. So those are just some things some tips that I wanted to share with you this morning. I want you to have a great Tuesday, please. Thank you for joining us on this morning, and please like and share across your social media platforms. I've Good morning, Marcina. I've been having some problems tagging people this week. So, should the napkin be in the lap for children as well, like as for a 5-year-old? Yes, the napkin can be in their lap too, especially Marcina, if they've already received their, how they're going to dine in public. If you're worried about spills and like that on their clothes, then you can, for a 5-year-old child, you can for them have the napkin tucked in to their shirt. You can do that for a child, but generally speaking, yes, it goes in the lap. And so this is one of the reasons why I always say the manners you practice at home are the ones that show up in public. So how soon do you start training your children about dining manners? As soon as they start eating, as soon as they start to learn to sit at the table and begin eating. And we know, of course, with children and babies and toddlers, they are going to make messes, they are going to have spills. So we work at it just like we work at anything else that we train our children to do, so that when they do dine out in public, they are presenting their best manners. Because remember, they're representing you, they're representing their family, they're representing their parents when they are out. Another question that came to mind, so someone asked me previously, what if you are out dining with people that may have various disabilities? That can be a challenge as well, and I believe that it is up to the family or the caregiver of that person how they handle outside dining. Some people with disabilities may need modified utensils. They may need modified silverware, so they might not be able to use a regular knife and fork. And I've worked in that industry before, so I know what it is like to deal with that. So if you're going to take them out, then bring the implements with them that they are most accustomed to using. You don't want to take them out in a different environment that they may not be as accustomed to as dining at home or even in the facility where they may reside. But if you're taking them out publicly, then take the implements with them that they are most accustomed to using. Some of their implements may have a larger handle for them to grip. And then, of course, don't expect them to do everything exactly as you've done it if they have some physical challenge that is preventing them from dining like we would regularly. So, just a few tips and tidbits that I'm sharing with you on Tidbit Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast. And if there are any other comments that I have missed, I will address them at the end of this broadcast. For all of my YouTube subscribers, you'll be able to access this video later on today. So again, please like, share, hit the subscribe button over there. This is Lady Victoria chatting with you. Until the next time. Bye for now.